In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to use your breakdowns for placements. Placements are one of the most underutilized tools in all of Facebook. In fact, placements used to be one of the most valuable tools that you can use. I still think there's a lot of gems in here. So I'm going to show you how you can apply placement breakdowns to your business. And we're also not only going to show you what they mean in the reports, but I'm also going to show you how you can apply tests for these placements. They're going to be similar to the age and gender tutorial that I did before. And then also, I'm going to show you a couple of different workflows that you need to potentially implement if you see one placement or another placement not working well. It's a little bit less tactical, a little bit more theory here, but stick with me because this is the stuff that makes a really big difference long term. These are the details that really only the top, I'd say 1 to 2% of media buyers actually understand, because it's these details that lead to the big conclusions. So let's jump right into it. So first things first, what am I talking about? What the heck are placements? Placements are everywhere that your ad has the ability to show. So for example, if you go into any one of your ad sets and you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you're going to see this section here called placements. Now, they've basically tuned us into we're going to automatically show all your placements. We're going to automatically show everywhere. However, if you click this little button called placement controls, you can see that you're able to choose where you want to place your ads. So A, there's a lot of placements. B, I could put my ads or deselect my ads on any sort of placement. In this case, I want my Facebook feed to not show. Therefore, I could unselect Facebook feed. Now, that's going to really screw up this existing ad set, so I wouldn't do this on the fly. But just as an example, you can choose which placements you want to live in. Okay, let's ignore this for now. Let's discard that draft. And the first thing we do when we want to look at what placements are actually working at the account is we go to the campaign level, we click breakdown, and we type in placement. Placement's going to show us all the different placements in the entire account. Very important pro tip here, sort by amount spent before you click this bottom button here. So sort by amount spent. And then we're going to go to results from 736 campaigns, results from all your campaigns. Click this little breakdown. It's going to open up your entire account. This is going to show us everything in this account that's running, all netted up together. So this is just the last 14 days. I've mentioned this before in a few other videos, but what we're looking at here is an incremental attribution account. The actual performance is more like a 3x to 4x return on ad spend. This is just for incremental attribution. Doesn't really matter for your case. What I want to break down here is what am I taking away from this and how we could act. So right off the bat, we can see that we're taking up most of our spend from feed, stories, reels, stories. This is what I want to see. I want to see for just about every account that these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I guess ads on Facebook Reels. I don't even know what that one is. That's the same thing as Facebook Reels. But anyway, these 6 are the most important. These are all scrolling in feed. So like if you go on your Instagram, which I was about to show you, you will see your feed. That's your primary feed. Your Reels is your primary Reels section. Your stories is the stories up top, of course. Facebook and Instagram, same thing. Now, some things I look out for. This is a very healthy account for this. But some things I look out for. If I saw any one of these not in the top, I would grow immediately concerned. So it happens quite often when we audit ad accounts. We'll see something like an Instagram Reels or Facebook Reels way down here below, right? In the very, very low spots. Or they might still be in the top, but they're only getting like 1% of the total spend, right? So we can kind of see like Instagram stories. That's a big chunk of spend. Reels, big chunk. These are sizable chunks of spend. So what draws two concerns for me are if I see any of these out of that top 6, and especially if I see any of these out of that top 6 and at a very, very, very small percentage of spend. What this usually indicates is that one of two things. A, we're targeting incorrectly, or B, which is most likely the case, we don't have the actual creative to support this placement. Now, I break down everything under the sun in creative in the creative section of this program. However, in this case, I just want to be very mindful that you're aware that if you don't have Instagram Reels, if you don't have Facebook Reels, if you don't have those formats in place, you're going to either underspend here or you're going to underperform. So you might spend at a very low return on ad spend. It has never been more important to have all placements available, have all reels, have all story placements available, like have all your placements available, because the user journey is so split. Some people really just stick to feed, some people stick to reels, some people go on reels and feed. The last thing you want to do is catch someone on the feed and then when they're in the reels experience, never be able to retarget them or never be able to talk to them again with an advertisement. So I'm always looking for consistency in these top 6. Now, like I said, problem number 1, you don't have one of these in your top 6 or one's getting very little spend. Solution is create creative for that specific style. So look into every single one of your creatives and look to see what's getting the most amount of spend. If you are an image heavy or catalog heavy brand, you should expect Facebook feed and Instagram feed to be dominant. Even stories could be dominant. If you're a video heavy brand, you should start to expect reels, especially Facebook and Instagram reels, to pop up compared to feed, compared to stories. If you think you're a video brand and you see feed up high, or the opposite, if you think you're an image brand and you see reels up high, you should draw some red flags. Now, for everyone out there, this is the second part of this, for everyone out there that can't actually create the correct creative, right? You don't have the full marketing department. You're terrible behind the camera, whatever excuse you're making. First off, correct that excuse because creative is super important. But also, if you can't create or don't have that creative, make sure you're not spending on that placement. And that's mostly going to apply to vertical video formats. So vertical video formats, that's Facebook Reels, that's Instagram Reels. Vertical video formats are anything that takes up the full screen. Think of like TikTok Experience. If you have no vertical video formats, you should test running without those placements. Now, there's a couple ways to do that. I broke this down in the age and gender breakdowns just previous to this, so I'd recommend watching that for the full detail, but I'll break it down quickly here as well. There's 2 ways to break this down. First, you could either totally cut placements from all your ad sets. It's a bad idea to do that right off the jump. That's the last resort. 2, you could build one new ad set, so literally start a brand new ad set from scratch, and eliminate those placements. So go into the ads manager, create a new ad set, and eliminate the placements that you do not do well on. And over time, what will happen is Facebook should allocate spend if it's better. The one thing you might need to do, and again, I broke this down in the previous age and gender video, the one thing you might need to do is set a minimum budget for this specific ad set equal to once your CPA. If your cost per acquisition is $50, set this minimum to $50. Give it at least a week so it has time to acquire 7 times 50 purchases, right? Well, 7 times 50 divided by whatever it is. 1 purchase a day, 7 purchases, and spend $350. That would be here. Now, the third thing you can do is if this proves to do well, then you can go and create value rules and apply those value rules to each of these sections here. I have a full tutorial on how value rules work. And in this specific case, I already showed it in the age and gender one. I don't want to keep repeating myself and make you guys watch the same thing over and over. So these placement breakdowns specifically are super important because people overspend all the time on the wrong things. So just make sure when you're looking at your placements, you are specifically gearing your creative to your placements. And if you can't, you are eliminating certain placements because we don't want to waste 10, 20, 30% of our ad spend. Cool.